What it do, COVID crew? My name is Mohammed Saeed.
I'm Neelay Patel. We are two members of Team 26. Due to minor inconveniences, the other three members of our team could not make it today. But we created MedRide, which is a community-powered ride-sharing service for medical employees. Mo, take the floor.
All right. So our proposed solution is MedRide, and basically this is a ride-sharing service specifically designed for medical employees to get to and from their workplace and basically parking, drop-off, pickup zones. There is an estimated need of 3,500 to 4,000 medical employees that use the buses each day. And we want to set up an alternative system of transportation, which allows for a decreased risk of COVID transmission. Next. So basically the issue is, in regard to transportation, it is not going to be possible to operate the bus system as it previously works. Due to social distancing needs, research suggests that public transportation is one of the largest ways that the virus spreads. And to reduce this risk, we need to reduce the amount of passengers on the buses. And a big aspect of bus riders is medical employees getting from their parking spots all across campus to the hospital. And our MedRide solution will allow us to circumvent this issue. Next. So who does this solution currently service? Our statistics show that there's a 65 to 35 split of students to employees on the buses. So this MedRide ride-sharing service would essentially serve 35% of the bus riding population, which will just decrease the overall strain on the bus system and allow employees to get to and from work faster, more efficiently. Next. Just an overview of our solution. It is basically a smart taxi system which decreases the total number of bus riders. We believe that this proposal will allow members of the community to use their personal vehicles to transport medical employees from predetermined pickup zones and bring them to the hospital and drop them back off at the zone at the end of the day. And our answer to this problem is MedRide. Next. As I mentioned earlier, basically this is not a complete replacement to the bus system for medical employees. It is just an alternate system which will reduce strain on bus travel. Next. So the mechanics of our solution, one really important aspect of our system is safety and authentication. We want to make sure our riders feel safe when they're boarding these cars of, different riders and different cars throughout the day. So in order for this system to work efficiently, we need to have a authentication system which will allow our drivers to have some form of license plate authentication, which the rider can put into our app beforehand and get on this correct car, which will match with a license plate, which can be found in a database. Next.
So to determine, our pickup and drop-off zones, we looked at data after talking to some transportation officials. We looked at data regarding where medical employees tend to park the most, and we came up with about 8 specific parking spots. Well, actually 7. The union is only there to account for students that will need to go to the hospital for research or volunteering or whatever else they may need to go there for. And drop-off zones, we picked 4 places in the hospital that seem to be common places where employees and students would like to be dropped off. And those places are namely the MedSci Research Building, the University Hospital, the Children's Hospital, and the Kellogg Eye Center. For requirements for the drivers, they must obviously provide their own car, their personal vehicle, and the university will inspect the car for safety. Also, the university will determine age requirements for drivers depending on if they want students to participate in the MedRide service. And then the drivers will have to pass a screening and a background check. And of course, they're responsible for the insurance of their own personal vehicle. As for payment, we're proposing a payment system on a per ride basis rather than an hourly system. And to kind of incentivize these drivers, we're proposing a peak pay system similar to the food delivery service DoorDash. This will incentivize workers to sign up for shifts where there's more demand for drivers, as more employees are moving back and forth between the hospital and their parking spots. And drivers will be compensated more money at these times. Rides are free for medical employees since the buses are free for them in the current system. Medical employees will get up to 2 free rides a day. Usually that means back and forth between their parking spot and the hospital. And the drivers will be paid by the university. This is a graphic that kind of illustrates what the system will look like in action. So in the bottom right corner, you see a parking lot. The blue rectangles represent individual vehicles that will be, driven by our drivers. And the pink dots in the perpendicular direction represent hospital employees. So each car will take 2 employees at a time to maintain proper social distancing rules. And then once 2 employees are in, the car will move on. And then the next car in the line will move forward, take 2 more employees, and so on and so forth. We believe that this idea is sustainable because we will require drivers to sign up for shifts in advance to ensure that there's a constant flow of drivers so that hospital employees are never really stuck in either their parking spot or the hospital. And we anticipate there being plenty of drivers, as in the Washtenaw County community, there are plenty of Uber and Lyft drivers who will be looking for an extra source of income now that nightlife is not as prevalent in the Ann Arbor area. So we believe that they will have an incentive to join the MedRide system. So that is a basic summary of our idea, MedRide, and I hope that you enjoyed listening to it, and we are excited to potentially implement this.